Hello everyone, my name is Rohit Yadav, College ID 16ME61. I'm a fourth year student of Mechanical Engineering branch of Engineering College Ajmer. And in this presentation, I'm going to explain about my seminar topic, which is ion propulsion system. For this seminar, I've been guided by the assistant professor of our branch, Mr. Kamal Singh. Moving on to the contents of this presentation. After completion of this presentation, one would be able to understand what is propulsion system, about traditional propulsion systems known as chemical propulsion, which is in existence from the start of the space race and even used now for the most of the space mission. One would also be able to understand about the feature and working of the ion thruster, statistics of the N-star ion drive, the currently used ion thruster, the future developments, advantages and limitations of propulsion system. Now, the very first question is, what is propulsion? According to the Wikipedia, it is the action of driving or pushing forward. But there is more for us in this definition. According to Newton's third law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this is the fact that launches the rocket into the space. In the most basic form of rocket, expanding gases leaves the tail nozzle of the rocket, providing it the thrust against the gravity. Burning of fuel produces enormous energy that provides the thrust for the propulsion of rocket into the space. The another factor is what and at what speed are we throwing the gases outwards. Either we throw a lot of mass or at a very high velocity to provide a greater thrust. Now I will explain about the traditional propulsion system, which is, as we all are familiar with, yes, the chemical rockets. The chemical rockets seem really primitive, taking out tons of liquid or solid fuel lighted on fire with an oxidizer, and then using the speed of explosive gases to get the thrust that we need. Originally developed in 1920s, the chemical rockets have not changed significantly. Robert Goddard developed this form of propulsion in 1924, and after 50 years we have Voyager 1, which is the fastest man-made object with a speed of 15 km per second, which uses the exactly same process to produce the thrust. The difference is that due to the development in material science and other fields, we are now able to carry more and greater quality fuel, which provides more thrust. Chemical rockets provide enormous energy, but for a very short amount of time, making them highly inefficient. The most efficient rocket can throw the hot gases at 5 km per second, and efficiency is 13%. Falcon rocket developed by SpaceX weighs about 14,000 tons, out of which 400 tons is only the fuel. The first stage of propulsion of Falcon rocket is about 162 seconds, and the second stage is 397 seconds. So all of the fuel that it is carrying, that is carried by the rocket, is used within the 9.5 minutes of the launch. Now coming to the ion propulsion, we have the ion thrusters. Ion thrusters uses Coulombic force to accelerate the positively charged xenon ion at very high velocity using the electromagnetic force. In chemical rocket, we use oxidizers, which is burning of fuel in presence of oxygen, which provides the energy in ion thrusters. Instead of oxidation, we use ionization, where a gas is ionized by bombarding electrons to it. Then these ions are accelerated and launched to provide a tiny thrust from each ion thrown outwards. For propulsion, we need fuel, which is in most of the case is the xenon gas, and the electricity, which is in the current models provided by the solar panels. The another feature of the ion engine is the very high specific impulse. Specific impulse is the another term used for the mileage of the rockets. It is the time in second for which the 1 pound of fuel can last. Combustion rockets have a maximum specific impulse of around 500 to 600 seconds. For Falcon 9 rocket developed by SpaceX, it is about 282 seconds, whereas the specific impulse of the ion engines starts from 1500 and may reach up to 20,000 seconds. Ion engine have a very low thrust, so will take a long duration to speed up. For a reference, it will take 4 days to reach 0 to 100 km per second, while the fastest accelerating car Bugatti Veyron only takes 2.3 seconds to reach that speed. which with that much low thrust, it is impossible for an iron engine to work in the Earth's surface or the environment of Earth. Other features of iron engine includes less moving parts, long endurance, and expensive fuel, as xenon is very expensive fuel. Now coming to the components and the working of ion thruster. The major components of ion thruster includes the cathode, shown by a red colored tube in the image, which shoots electron into a system. Around that cathode, this green circle represents the propellant atom. The most commonly used propellant is xenon, as it is non-reactive and non-corrosive. So back to the image, the middle area where everything is mixing together is known as the ionization chamber. Here, the electrons collides with the xenon atom, knocking out one of the xenon's electron, giving it a positive charge. So once we have these positively charged xenon ion floating around, they begin to diffuse towards the grid on the right hand side, shown by the green colored grids. These are the acceleration grids. The inner grid has the positive charge and outer grid has a negative charge. While passing through the grids, these ions get accelerated massively and fly over to the back, providing the thrust to the ship. Once this positively charged ion leaves the ship, these needs to be neutralized. So for this we use a neutralizer. The red colored tube outside the ionization chamber is a neutralizer, which is used to neutralize the positively charged xenon ion leaving the spaceship. Now coming to the spacecraft that are currently used using ion thrusters, here are some data about the NASA Space Technology Appliance Readiness NSTAR ion drive, which uses xenon gas as a fuel. According to test results provided on NASA website about NSTAR ion drive, it fires each ion approximately at 40 km per second, providing a maximum thrust of 0.092 Newton. This force is equivalent to the force exerted by a sheet of paper resting on your hand. In comparison to the Falcon Heavy rocket, which provides a thrust of 7,607 kN, the thrust provided by the ion drive is extremely low. For approximation of acceleration, if we take the average mass of the satellite as 1000 kg, the acceleration would be 0.000092 meter per second square, which is very low. But keeping into account the conditions of the space where we don't have any resistance or drag, the spacecraft will start to gain speed. And with this very low acceleration, in a week, the speed will reach to 55 km per second, which is not so great. But if the same acceleration is provided for a year, the speed will reach to 2,898 km per second, which is a great speed, and this will goes on increasing as there is no resistance in the space. Coming to the next slide, here are the space missions that are currently using ion thrusters in their space exploration program. Firstly, we have NASA's Deep Space One, launched in 1998, with an ion propulsion as the main propulsion system to reach the asteroid 9969 Braille and the comet Borel. Next up is the ESA's Smart Lunar Orbit, which was inserted to the lunar orbit in 15th November 2004. Also, next is the Japanese Hayabusa spacecraft launched on 9th May 2003 to return a sample of material from a near-Earth asteroid named 25143 Itokawa to Earth for further analysis. Now, the future developments that may reflect in the near future is NASA's nuclear electric xenon ion system, the Nexus engine, which uses a nuclear reactor to complete the power requirement of the system. As the solar-powered ion thrusters are limited to their use in solar system, as outside the solar system or at a greater distance from the sun, it will not be possible to meet the electricity requirement only with the help of the solar panels. So the use of a nuclear reactor to power the ion engine will further develop the extent of reach for the spacecraft. The next up is the advantages of ion thruster. The key advantage of ion thruster engine is the efficiency. Also, it produces far more thrust per pound of propellant than a chemical rocket. The fuel consumption is also low, so reduces the mission cost in the current commercial and non-commercial needs by increasing the life of the satellite. It also has low moving parts and equipped with non-polluting propellant. As nothing can be ideal technology, so here are the limitations of ion propulsion. First of all, it is very expensive, as the propulsion gas, the propulsion fuel that we use, xenon, is a very expensive fuel. Also, it is in a developing stage, so the technology is currently very expensive. Secondly, ion thrusters have a very low thrust, so it is impossible to lift a rocket only equipped with the ion thruster. Also, they cannot be used to operate on Earth's atmosphere because of the air drag present in the atmosphere. So they can only be used into space where the environment is non-frictional. More to the currently used ion thrusters are limited to the solar power for their electricity needs. They cannot work at a greater distance from the sun. Thank you all for listening to my presentation.